Bronwyn here from St Mark's Church in Cardiff. Now, some of my friends have put together a video that tells us all about the Easter story. Do you want to watch it? It's really great. You're going to hear all about a man called Jesus, how he died and how he rose from the dead.
Hello everyone, I'm Tom and I'm here to tell you all about Easter. Yay! Now Easter is all about daffodils and hot cross buns and chocolate eggs.
Yes, but that's not why Easter is special, Tom.
What? So, what is Easter all about then?
Well, I'm very glad you asked. Easter is the story of how Jesus lives.
I thought Jesus had died.
Well, he did, but now he lives. If you only remember one thing about this story, remember that Jesus lives. We're going to see what really happened, and the story is in all 4 Gospels in the Bible.
Oh, I know these. Matthew, John,
Nearly right. It's Matthew, Mark, Luke and John. But we're going to follow Luke's story. So, we're in Jerusalem, a city on the edge of the Roman Empire. And lots of people aren't very happy about that. It's a long time ago, at just about tea time, which is the story called The Last Supper.
I feared the worst. When 13 blokes book the party room, it's normally pretty grim in there afterwards, especially when they order wine. Although apparently this Jesus can make his own. Loads of it. And bread. Don't ask me how. My husband Isaac can barely make a pitta when he has all the ingredients. Anyway, it was a very quiet evening in the end. I was not listening at the door. This one's a bit too thick. But it didn't sound like much of a party to me, which is weird. I mean, it is Passover. I know it's all about the wine these days, but it's meant to be a celebration, isn't it? My mum used to tell me the Passover story about how our people were slaves in Egypt, but God rescued us and brought us out into the desert where he fed us with bread, which would be lying on the ground every morning. You're stuck somewhere you don't want to be, forced to be indoors when there's a plague passing over. Remember, there's always hope. I had hope for Jesus. Or I did. I thought he'd rescue us from the Romans. But he's got a funny way of going about it. While I was clearing some plates at the end, Jesus took the bread and wine and said, "Eat and drink this in remembrance of him," as if he was going to die. Isn't he a miracle worker who can raise people from the dead? I don't know what his game is. Anyway, we need to get this room cleared. Come on, wipe the tables. We've got a dozen tax collectors in for some sort of business breakfast first thing.
When Jesus left the upper room, he went into a garden, and there he met the Easter Bunny.
No, Luke doesn't say that.
They did an Easter egg hunt then. Yay!
No, Tom, Jesus was arrested by people from the temple and a mob with swords and clubs.
But why? Jesus went around healing people and doing good and being kind.
Well, they were really angry that Jesus was claiming to be God. They wanted to have him killed, but they needed the Romans for that.
That's awful.
So, Tom, they took him to Pontius Pilate, the Roman governor, a very important person, he couldn't find anything wrong with Jesus and said he could be set free.
Yay!
But Jesus' enemies whipped up the crowd and they demanded that he crucify Jesus and release a man called Barabbas instead.
Wow! Lucky old Barabbas!
I've really done it this time. I led a rebellion against the Romans. Well, I probably ended up murdering one or two people. And any day now, they're coming to my cell to lead me out, to crucify me. Not good, is it? I tried everything, you know. Bribing the guard, threatening the witnesses, blackmailing the judge. None of it worked. Oh, nor did the jailbreak. I'll give you a tip. You're going to hide a big metal file in a loaf of bread. Make sure it's a baguette. It's the right shape. I mean, my sister, you already know my sister. My sister tried to hide it in some crusty buns. Can you imagine how that went? And the guards ate the buns. They were my buns.
Oh, shut up, Barabbas.
Well, don't I get a final meal, a last request?
No, you've been a bad, bad man, and you're going down.
There's no rescue for me, not a chance.
Huh. Actually, Barabbas, there's been a change of plan. Pilate's changed his mind. Jesus is going to die. You're going to live. You're free to go.
What? Jesus dies and I live? Who'd have thought it? Someone as rotten as me. I was free.
It doesn't seem right to me either, but that's the way it is.
Yeah. Well, didn't I say when I was locked in here, there's always hope?
Actually, no. You said, please don't lock me up. Here's 50 denarii. Treat yourself.
I may have said that. Oh, well, it's a beautiful day. Let's go. Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. I've got a wonderful feeling. Everything's going my way.
Wow! Barabbas must have been one happy bunny.
Thomas, will you please stop talking about bunnies? We need to talk about what happened to Jesus next. He was being taken to a place called the Skull.
The Skull? Ugh! What happened there?
Well, put it this way, it wasn't an ice cream shop.
Imagine an ice cream parlor called the Skull. Zero customers, I think.
Well, this is the place where Jesus was executed and killed. He was nailed to a big wooden cross and left to die with 2 other criminals.
I can't wait to hear how Jesus got out of this one.
Tom, he didn't. Jesus died.
But.
And there was a very important soldier there to make sure it was all done properly.
Well, that's not a very nice job to have.
Wow! Well, that was the weirdest day at work I have ever had. Whew. Normally, there are 2 types of prisoner. The mumblers and the screamers. The mumblers have given up hope because, well, let's face it, there's no hope on a cross. But the screamers, they're in denial, shouting and yelling at everyone and everything. We had a screamer today, yelling at me and this Jesus bloke. I have no idea why Jesus was being crucified. He doesn't seem the type. He was a mumbler. And do you know what he said up there on the cross? Father, forgive them. They don't know what they're doing. Well, I know what I'm doing. I'm doing my job. But it really was a very weird thing to say. Anyway, this screamer criminal goes nuts and screams, "Aren't you supposed to be the true king from God? Save yourself and us while you're at it." Then this other criminal jumps in. Well, not literally, because, he's not a screamer. He's a dreamer. He says, "Don't you fear God? We are getting what we deserve. But this man has done nothing wrong." And then, I'll never forget this, he says to Jesus, "Remember me when you come into your kingdom." Dream on, dreamer. Jesus is on a cross. No hope. But then he says to this dreamer, "Today you will be with me in paradise." What's that all about? Jesus can't help anyone from where he is. And then he dies. So that's the end of that. But I really was wondering, was he really a criminal? Did he deserve to die? God knows. But, well, it struck me, he really was a very good man. But as I say, weirdest sort of day ever. It reminds me of one of my dad's stories from 30 years ago when he was in Bethlehem. Anyway, it's dinner time. I'm famished. I've had nothing to eat since that stale, crusty bun this morning. Let's have a look.
Oh, what a sad story. Oh well. Happy Easter, everyone!
No, Thomas, that's not the end. There's a serious twist you don't want to miss.
What? You mean there is a bunny after all?
No, Thomas. There's no bunny in this story anyway. A man called Joseph of Arimathea took Jesus' body down and laid it in a tomb.
Oh, right, but this story doesn't seem to get any better.
You just wait.
Sorry, we're so tired. We're running to Jerusalem because we just saw him. It really was him. It's alive. Jesus. Back up, let's back up. We were on our way to Emmaus, talking about what had happened when we met this guy who asked us what we were chatting about. And we were talking about Jesus. Where have you been? Turns out it was Jesus. Oh, don't spoil it. That's the best bit. We started telling this guy all about how Jesus did amazing things and how we'd hoped he was going to rescue us from the Romans. But then the temple priests killed him on Friday. And then Sunday morning, some of the women went to the tomb.
And Jesus was gone.
Oh, it's unbelievable. Anyway, where had he gone? We were sad and confused.
And this tube we met on the road, he explains how this whole thing has been planned by God. And how it's set all the way through the Bible from the beginning.
And he told us how it's not a rescue from the Romans that we need, but rescue from sin and death, and how we can be with God forever.
Hearts on fire! Eyes blown!
So when we got home, we invited this guy in for a meal. And the moment he broke the bread, we realized it was actually Jesus.
There he was, alive!
All our hopes, all our dreams was eating bread with us. And then,
Oh, gone! He just disappeared. Can you believe it?
amazing. Can you believe it? He's taken my punchline again.
Sorry. It's just such a brilliant story. And it means Jesus lives. There is hope. He can rescue us after all. So we're going back to Jerusalem to tell the others. Come on!
Does this mean that Jesus is alive now?
Yes, yes, Thomas, Jesus is. This story about Jesus is written in Luke's Gospel in the Bible. It's a history of Jesus's life and death and life again. You can read it for yourself.
I think I will just do that with some chocolate.
Oh, good idea. Can I have some?
All right then, let's go and get some.
So what was your favourite part of the story?
My favourite part was the story actually at the crucifixion, when one of the criminals really realised that he was dying because he had done some terrible things, and so had the other guy. But Jesus was completely innocent, and he turned to Jesus and said, "Will you remember me when you get to your kingdom?" And Jesus answered immediately, "Yes, you'll be with me." And that was so wonderful. Never too late to ask for forgiveness.
Yeah, that is so brilliant, isn't it? And Ros, what was your favourite part of the story?
Well, I like the bit about Cleopas and his wife. You know, they were so miserable because they thought Jesus was dead. And they were talking about the rumours that they'd heard. And then they found somebody was with them and talking to them and explaining it all. And it was Jesus. And they got so excited because Jesus really is alive and was with them.
Brilliant. So children, what was your favourite part of the story? Maybe you could just pause the video now and you could talk with your teacher about what you really enjoyed watching today. So we've learned today that Jesus is still alive. So Ros, what does that mean to you?
It means like Cleopas and his wife, I can talk to him. I can talk to him every day. I can talk to him when I'm miserable, when I pray, or I can ask for help. And just, I can pray to him anytime.
That's so good, isn't it? And Liz, what about you?
I'm the same. You know, when things are terrible, you can talk to him about it. When things are good, we can feel his prompting in our hearts. We know he helps us every minute of the day. And it's a real relationship, and it's very special, and it gives hope for the future.
Brilliant. Thank you both
so God
so much.
sent Jesus to die on the cross because he loves us all so much.
God and Jesus knew all along that this was the plan. And we're so thankful that Jesus died and rose again. And just like Roz and Liz said at the end of the video, we can all talk to God whenever we like. He's always ready to listen to us. Now I'm going to say a prayer, and if you want to make it your prayer, then you can say Amen at the end after me. Dear God, thank you for sending your son Jesus to die on the cross for us. Thank you for forgiving us and for loving us so much. Please help us to remember that you are always there and that you always care about us. Amen.
Happy Easter, everyone.
Happy Easter, everybody.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter! Happy Easter all.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter, everyone.
I hope you have a special Easter, everybody.
Happy Easter, everybody.
Happy Easter, everyone.
Happy Easter.